If you are wondering what to include in your child's lunchbox or you are dealing with a picky eater, you are not alone. Hello, welcome to TinyFoodFix, and today's topic is healthy lunchboxes. My name is Harman. I am a registered nutritionist specializing in public health and food. And today I will share some simple, practical, and realistic tips to help make lunchboxes a lot less stressful. So let's get started. Preparing a healthy, balanced lunchbox can feel really overwhelming at times, but the foods children are exposed to, both at home and outside, play a big role in shaping their habits and how they feel about food. So, there is growing concern that many children are eating too much fat, salt, and sugar, and not enough fiber, fruit, and vegetables. And because packed lunches can make up almost third of a child's weekly food intake, it's really important that they are balanced and nutritious. So let's explore this topic together and understand what it really takes to build a healthy lunchbox for your child. Think of a balanced lunchbox as including a variety of foods. Variety is really important as it helps children get a wider range of nutrients and supports them in developing more flexible food preferences over time. So try to focus on nutrient dense foods, especially for younger children who need small amounts of food that are rich in nutrients that can support their overall health and well being. So, in simple terms, aim to include foods that are as close to their natural form as possible rather than relying too much on highly processed options. And planning ahead can also make a big difference. It helps you include a better variety of food, use leftovers, and make simple balanced choices more easily. So, overall, a balanced lunchbox helps keep children fuller for longer and supports steady energy throughout the day. Making a lunchbox gives you, as a parent, the opportunity to provide the energy your child needs to get through the day. So, including a mix of different food groups helps ensure they're getting a range of essential nutrients. So, preparing a healthy lunch may take a little planning, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Adding color and variety can make the lunchbox more appealing and enjoyable for children. And remember, food isn't just about nutrition, it's also about enjoyment and building a positive relationship with eating. So, balance is key. Now, before we start building lunchbox ideas, I just want to quickly go over the key food groups that help create a healthy, balanced lunch. This makes it easier when you are deciding what to include in your child's lunchbox. So, let's start with starchy foods. These are a really important source of energy and provide a range of nutrients. Try to include at least one portion. This could be things like bread, white or whole grain, potatoes, rice, pasta, couscous, or crackers. And you can also mix it up with wraps, bagels, pitas, or rolls. A mix of white and whole grain is absolutely fine, but try to include whole grain options regularly, ideally at least once a week. Now, next we have fruit and vegetables. These are really important for vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Aim to include at least one portion of fruit and one portion of vegetables in the lunchbox. They can be fresh, frozen, tinned, dried, or even juiced. Just keep in mind that dried fruit can be quite high in sugar and can stick to teeth, which may increase the risk of tooth decay. So the third food group is dairy or dairy alternatives. These are important for strong bones and teeth. For younger children, especially under 5, it is important not to give low fat or skimmed milk. And children under 2 should have whole milk and full fat dairy to make sure they are getting enough nutrients. Then the next food group we want to include is protein foods. These are important for growth and provide key nutrients like iron and zinc. So try to include at least one portion of it. This could be chicken, turkey, tuna, salmon, eggs, or plant based options like chickpeas, tofu, lentils, or kidney beans. It's also a good idea to include fish at least once a week, especially oily fish like salmon. Now you are aware of all the important food groups, so let's put them together in a lunchbox. A good variety of food is really important to make sure children are getting all the key nutrients they need, including essential vitamins and minerals. So try to vary the lunchbox from day to day, as this helps support a more balanced diet and it encourages children to become familiar with different foods over time. And it's also helpful to focus on nutrient dense foods, as I mentioned before, because young children often eat smaller portions, so the foods included need to provide as much nutrition as possible. Where possible, choose foods that are unprocessed or minimally processed. For example, simple options like chicken, eggs, or natural yogurt with fruit can be a better alternative to more processed foods. It is also important to include foods that provide iron and zinc, as these nutrients are essential for your child's growth. Good options include meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and plant based foods like tofu. Fruits and vegetables should be included every day, and if your child is reluctant to eat them, keep offering small amounts regularly, even if they only taste them at first. So, repeated exposure really helps, and children may need to see or try a new food several times before they begin to accept it. And finally, include calcium rich food daily to support strong bones and teeth. This can include milk, cheese, yogurt, or a fortified dairy alternative. In this slide, you will see a simple lunchbox builder grouped into different food categories. You can think of this as your child's lunchbox and use it as a guide when planning meals. When it comes to drinks, choose carefully. One small glass of juice or smoothie a day is enough. And remember, fruit juice and smoothies should be limited to a combined total of 150 ml a day. Water, milk, or unsweetened drinks are the best options. Here is an example of what a balanced lunchbox could look like across the week. On Monday, you might include something like a bagel with salmon and salad, along with breadsticks, a custard pot, some chopped fruit, and a drink such as milk or water. For Tuesday, a soft cheese sandwich on wholemeal bread works very well with cucumber and carrot sticks, a boiled egg, some fruit with plain yogurt, or a dairy alternative. On Wednesday, you could go for something like chicken and sweet corn pasta paired with a simple mixed salad, a milk based dessert like rice pudding, and a piece of fruit such as satsuma. Thursday could be a pita filled with hummus with pepper sticks on the side and small portion of cheese, a blueberry muffin, and milk or water. And for Friday, something like a tuna and potato salad works very well, alongside vegetables like baby sweet corn or sugar snap peas, cheese sticks, and a fun option if you would like to try like a fruit kebab. I'm also going to share a few more lunchbox ideas to give you a better sense of how this looks in practice. So, across these examples, you will notice a similar pattern. Each lunchbox includes a main item such as a sandwich, pasta, or a bagel, paired with fruit, either a dairy option or a protein one. So, for example, one option could be tuna pasta with sweet corn, fruit, and water. Then another might be a roast beef sandwich with tomatoes, raisins, or dairy options like fromage, frais, and a small portion of fruit juice. You might also include something like wholemeal tuna sandwich with fruit, yogurt, and water, or a chicken salad roll with a dessert and milk. So the key idea here is not to follow these exactly, but to use them as a guide. Now, try to include a mix of food groups, keep some variety across the week, and choose simple options like water or milk most of the times. When it comes to a healthy lunchbox, it's not only about what to include, but also what to limit. So, foods that are high in sugar, such as sweets, biscuits, cakes, pastries, chocolates, fizzy drinks, and a sugary juice drinks, are best kept to a minimum. These foods can increase tooth decay and often provide more energy but very few nutrients. Then it is a good idea to limit foods that are high in salt, such as processed meats and some ready made products like baked beans. And finally, foods that are high in saturated fat, like pastries, crisps, and processed snacks, should be kept occasional. So these can contribute to excess calorie intake and they do not add much nutritional value. The goal is not to cut everything out completely, but it's about balance and keeping these foods as occasional choices but not everyday items. Desserts can absolutely be part of a healthy lunchbox. It doesn't have to be avoided. The key is to keep it simple and include variety. Some ideas your child may enjoy include malt loaf or a tea cake, fruit jelly, scones, whether plain, fruit or cheese, and rice pudding. So desserts should be included as part of a balanced lunchbox, not as an extra or an afterthought. Try to vary them across the week and, where possible, include ingredients like milk, cereals, or fruit to keep them more nourishing. For example, you could include banana bread, fruit salad with custard, or a simple fruit crumble. It's all about balance, not restriction. The main message here is very simple. A healthy lunchbox doesn't need to be perfect. It should include a balance of foods from the main food groups and focus on variety across the week rather than every meal being perfect. So, what matters most is consistency over time, not what happens in a single day. Small, realistic choices are what really support your child's nutrition in the long run. Remember, lunchboxes do not have to be perfect. If this video helped, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow TinyFoodFix for more tiny yet evidence based nutrition tips that will make your life easier. I will see you in the next video.